Have you ever launched a website and just wondered, how do I make this thing feel instantly fast for every single person, no matter where they are in the world? Well, today, we're going to break down exactly how to take your load times from a painful 8 seconds all the way down to a blistering 50 milliseconds. All right, let's get into it. You know, it all starts with this one question. It's a question every developer, and let's be real, every person who's ever used the internet has asked. You've got these awesome, high-quality images on your site, but they just take forever to show up. So what is actually going on? And this is the painful reality for your user. You've got 3 seconds, maybe 5. By 8 seconds, they are long gone. They've clicked away and you've just lost a customer, all because an image didn't load fast enough. Now, this isn't just some small bug. It's what you could call a global latency disaster. And when you really start to dig in, you find out it's not just one thing. It's actually a tale of 2 different but totally related problems that we need to fix. And look, this isn't just some abstract tech issue. For a business, especially an e-commerce site, this latency means real money. We are talking about potentially $100,000 a month in lost sales. That is the real cost of a slow website.
So problem number 1 is all about where you're keeping your files. If you just dump them on your server's disk, you're going to run out of space, it gets expensive really fast, and if that disk ever fails, poof, your data could be gone for good. The fix is object storage, something like Amazon's S3, which gives you basically endless space, it's cheap, and it is incredibly durable.
Okay, problem number 2 is just plain old distance. I mean, if your server is sitting in California, but your user is in Tokyo, that data has to travel 8,000 kilometers. The speed of light is fast, but it's not that fast. This is exactly where a content delivery network, a CDN, comes in. It basically puts a copy of your data in Tokyo, and that turns an 8-second wait into just 50 milliseconds. It's a game changer. I know, terms like object storage and CDN can sound a little complicated. So let's use a super simple analogy that's going to make this all click. Just imagine you're selling books all over the world. So, without a CDN, your entire business is running out of one single giant warehouse, and that warehouse is in California. So every single customer, doesn't matter if they're in London, Sydney, or Tokyo, has to order their book from that one spot and wait for it to ship. But with a CDN, the whole picture changes. Instead of that one central warehouse, you now have local bookstores in every major city on the planet. Your main warehouse in California still exists. That's your object storage. But now you've stocked all your most popular books in these local shops ready to go. And this gets us to a really important idea, a cache hit. This is when our customer in Tokyo walks into their local bookstore and bam, the book they want is right there on the shelf. They get it instantly. In our tech world, that's our 50 millisecond delivery. It's perfect. But what happens if nobody in Tokyo has ever asked for this particular book before? Well, that's what we call a cache miss. The local store doesn't have it in stock, so what does it do? It orders the book from the main warehouse in California. Yeah, that first customer has to wait a little longer. But here's the magic part. The Tokyo store now keeps a copy, so the very next person who wants that same book, they get it instantly. So we get the problem, we get the bookstore solution, but what's the actual payoff here? What are the real-world results? Well, they are nothing short of incredible. At the end of the day, it really all boils down to this simple 2-step solution. Step 1, you move all your images and big files into an object storage service like S3. That's our master warehouse. Step 2, you put a CDN, like Amazon CloudFront, in front of it to act as all your local bookstores. That is literally it. So this was the before. 8 long, agonizing seconds for a user in Tokyo to load one of your images from California. And this is the after, just 50 milliseconds. That is a 160 times improvement. It's the difference between a user getting frustrated and leaving your site and a user not even noticing a load time because it just feels instant. And hey, as if that massive speed boost wasn't enough, there's another huge win. Because the CDN is handling almost all the requests, the actual load on your main server drops by like 90%. It only has to do any real work on those very rare cache misses. Now check this out, because this is where it gets really interesting. You'd think this amazing performance would cost a fortune, right? Well, serving directly from the server is about $180. Using Amazon's CloudFront CDN, it's about the same, maybe a tiny bit more, at $188. A tiny price to pay for a $160 speed increase. But then, look at Cloudflare R2. Because they don't charge these things called egress fees, just think of it as free shipping from the warehouse, the cost absolutely plummets to just $15 a month. That's just insane.
Okay, so this whole setup is incredibly powerful, but it's also really easy to make some pretty bad mistakes when you're just starting out. So let's talk about a big one that can have some really serious consequences.
A lot of people, when they're new to this, they're just trying to get things working fast, and they'll set their storage bucket to be public read. This little line of code right here, it's basically like leaving the front door to your entire master warehouse wide open with a sign that says help yourself. And I can't stress this enough. This is a security nightmare. It means anyone, anywhere on the internet can find and download every single file you have. We're talking customer data, private documents, backups, everything. It's a disaster waiting to happen. So what's the right way to do it? It's a two-step fix. First, you lock it all down. Block all public access to your bucket, period. Then, for any file that someone actually needs to see, you generate something called a pre-signed URL. Just think of it like a temporary single-use keycard that only works for one specific file for, say, an hour. It's totally secure and completely controlled. All right, so after all of that, if there's only one thing you remember from this whole explainer, what should it be? It's this. Simple as that. You just wouldn't ship the same book from California to Tokyo over and over and over again. Once you truly get that idea, you understand the entire principle behind a global CDN. You put your stuff close to your users because shipping it across the world every single time is slow, it's expensive, and frankly, it just makes no sense at all.